Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news, Chelsea transfer news, Chelsea everything, Chelsea gossip, the lot. I want to have a deep conversation in regards to Jamie Gittens, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like it's Operation Gittens at all costs, absolutely at all costs. The club, all the people that are involved with the club, the briefings, everything is making it seem like there is no other options better than Gittens out there, ladies and gentlemen. With hook or crook, we must get Gittens because Gittens is going to elevate us to the next level, regardless of how much we pay, regardless of who we give. There's some latest news, ladies and gentlemen, that Chukwuemeka, who's there, where reportedly, Dortmund wants to keep him, and we also want to perhaps entertain the fact that Chukwuemeka stay there for another season, which might even help out with the Gittens. And there's also a conversation about Acheampong, who's shown great development so far, who's showing a lot of skills and a little bit of class about himself, especially the match against the Tunisian team Esperance. But it may come down to the point that maybe Acheampong might be surplus to requirements, and there could be a chance that Dortmund might want someone like Acheampong, and perhaps that might even also sweeten the deal with Gittens. So we'll delve into all of these points. We'll delve into Acheampong, we'll delve into Chukwuemeka, but we're going to start things off with Gittens because we need to have a deep conversation about this player. A lot of people are complaining about the price tag. The price tag that is being touted for is about £55 million. Now, as I said, we'll go through the news very, very soon. But before we do that, let's put aside the £55 million. Let's just put that aside because that is neither here nor there. To be honest, some might think he's about 40 million, 45 million. Some say, yeah, that's about, look, so that, let's park it aside. I think the real question, the fan base is getting too much caught up in the money side of things. That will take care of itself. The real question is, what do we want as a fan base next season? There's the reality of what we're doing, and there's also a conversation of what we want as a fan base, right? The real question about Gittens should be, and if you're thinking in the same wavelength as me, along with many others, we really should be looking at competing for the Premier League title, and we really should be looking at competing for the Champions League next season. That is where we really need to be. So the question is, does Gittens get us there? Does Gittens become a player that will help us achieve those goals next season? Now, you might sit there and say, Miz, we're not competing for the title. We're not competing for the Champions League next season. That's just highly unrealistic. Unrealistic how? Unrealistic because of the way the club is moving, or unrealistic because you truly think that Chelsea are incapable of doing this? There's two different things here. There's one thing that the club is making you believe by doing these sort of transfers over the past window, that it's a process, it's a project, it's going to take us another few more seasons to compete. It's no different to Arsenal. Arsenal, after so many seasons, and look at what they're doing right now as well. Players like Mendy, Kepa, Norgard, whoever else that they're getting, is it really elevating them? Literally, Liverpool and Man City again skipping past them. What are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? What is our game? This whole project and process, is it really going to come into fruition? And how long is that really going to take? A lot of people are like me, we can't compete. Why can't we compete next season? If we have a top window, and I'm not even saying go out there and buy 11 different players. Give a top striker for Liam Delap to work with. I think it's too much to ask for Delap, even though I love Delap so much, man. I really do. It's asking for too much for a young player to go out there and lead us and compete for the Premier League title. So give Delap another striker, top striker. Now you might be posing, but Miz, who's your top striker? I've said it many times, and I know you guys might mock about it, and you might say, oh, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic the way we are running. It's not unrealistic in the sense that Chelsea Football Club should be vying for players like Victor Osimhen and Gyökeres. They elevate you to a next level. You'll say these are unrealistic based on how Chelsea is moving. But based on how Chelsea is moving, are you accepting that? Do you want Chelsea to have this 150,000 capping? Do you want Chelsea to keep buying youth? You see, there's two different sides here. There's one side, which is what Chelsea are doing, and there's another side, which is what you want Chelsea to do. So you get a striker for Delap. You perhaps get a top goalkeeper. Mike Mignon was available. And maybe you just add another winger, a top winger. After that, it's pretty much there. We're not asking for 5, 6, 7 signings. We're asking for maybe 3. And we could probably just do with 2 and compete at the highest level. Striker and a goalkeeper. We probably do need a winger now because we lack in those areas. We've let go of Sancho. We've let go of, Mudryk is not going to be available. Madueke is not really looking the standard. So we definitely need bolstering there. But that's just a natural upgrade. That's not something that is like a striker or a goalkeeper where we have options, but they're not good enough. In winger position, there are no options. There's just a gap there that we need to fill. So for all the people out there that feel, Chelsea's miles away from... No, we're not. We choose to be miles away. We choose to be miles away, ladies and gentlemen. And the club, the hierarchies, everyone involved, through the briefings, through the journalists, they want you to believe that we are miles away. We're not. Not many people, and I know this comparison isn't adequate. I'm still making it just to give you an example that you can expect achieving something beyond your capabilities. You can overachieve. No one expected Slot to win the Premier League last season. And if you expected that, you're lying to yourself. No one expected that. Sure, Slot is a far superior manager to Maresca. He's more experienced, I get that. But no one still expected him to win the Premier League. The Premier League was expected to be won by either Arsenal or Manchester City again. But Slot did it, yeah? Slot did it. Achieving beyond expectation, overachieving. And then on top of that, look at what Liverpool's doing now. They're trying to go right ahead. It's very important. The kind of business that we do this window needs to reflect and be close to what Liverpool and Manchester City, the way they're moving. And don't expect teams like Man United and everyone to just, be at the base level. Arsenal probably is just one striker away, one top quality striker away from really being serious. So, ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself the question. Forget about Gittens and his price tag and all the stuff we're hearing with Acheampong and Chukwuemeka. Ask yourself, bringing in a player like Gittens, does it help us compete for the Premier League title or the Champions League next season? Because if it doesn't, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Now, let's get into the news. It is understood Chelsea have decided they are willing to meet the 55 million price tag for Gittens. Bayern don't believe Gittens plays at a consistently high level to warrant that fee. Bayern's right. Bayern Munich is absolutely right. I've maintained this for the longest period. I think Gittens is a good player, decent player, not 55 million, probably at most 40, 45 million at most. And he doesn't elevate us to a title contendership. He's a good player. Needs to develop a lot more. That's where he is. Bayern Munich are absolutely right about it. But we're willing to pay 55 million. Yeah, we were haggling over Mike Mignon just a few weeks back. Borussia Dortmund are exploring a deal for Josh Acheampong. There is now belief among suitor clubs that Chelsea may be willing to do business for 35 million or pure profit. You have to ask yourself, Acheampong, is he surplus to requirements? Where does he play? What's the pecking order? At right back, at centre back, in midfield, because he can play in multiple positions. but he's not number one in any of those positions. Probably not even number two. Should he be a bit higher in the pecking order? Of course he should. A lot of people will say he's higher than Malo Gusto now, but that's not how the club looks at. Club bought Malo Gusto for a little bit of money, and they're not going to simply ditch Malo Gusto now to elevate Acheampong. Even though I feel Acheampong should be elevated, but can we really put our hand on our hearts and actually say Acheampong next season gets a lot of minutes? Probably doesn't. Once again, he'll get bits and pieces here and there, but he won't get lots of minutes. That's the reality of it. So this news, when you see it, that potentially 35 million business with Dortmund, when we are also going for Gittens, there could be some truth behind it. There could be some truth behind it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want it to happen. I think Acheampong shows a lot of promise. He's showing a lot more promise than some of the young players that we've been buying under this ownership. Some of our players from our academy are actually very good, and he's probably one of them. Once again, let's see, let's monitor where this is going. But one thing's for certainty, Acheampong is a very, very quality young player, and he ain't going to stick around if he's not going to get the minutes from Chelsea Football Club. Look at what we're doing. We're linked with CBs as well this window. We are consistently looking at more fullbacks, this, that, the other. Where does Acheampong really fit in? That's the big question. Is he going to be sent out on a loan, perhaps? We'll see. We'll see. But this news is not too far-fetched. Some of you guys might believe that, no, this is not going to happen. It may not happen, but it's not far-fetched. Last but not least, Dortmund sporting director Sebastian Kehl confirms they want to keep Carney Chukwuemeka. I'm very confident we can do it. We don't want to get any worse. That's why we'd like to keep him. Chelsea know that too. So that's another, carrot that we can dangle on Dortmund. So you've got Acheampong, you've got Chukwuemeka, who's already there on loan. We could potentially, increase the length of that loan over there, which hopefully will sweeten the deal with Gittens a little bit more, and we can bring that down. Because look, at this point, Gittens' price is something, but then we can offset that price with dealing with Chukwuemeka and Acheampong if we do. But definitely with Chukwuemeka. Whatever the loan fee that they're going to give us, whatever his wages that they're going to be willing to cover, all of that can offset on what we eventually pay for Gittens. So let's say, for argument's sake, Gittens' fee is 55 million, right? And they give us another, 4 or 5 million for Chukwuemeka for loan. So you can already shave off 4 or 5 million from that 55 million. And don't forget the wage differences as well. Whatever we're paying Gittens, Chukwuemeka is on a higher wage. So you gotta offset all of that out too. There might be a saving there because Chukwuemeka is on good wages with Chelsea Football Club. Is Gittens going to be on that similar kind of wages? We don't know. We don't know. All of that matters. All of that matters. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. The bottom line is, does all of this business, does it really help us elevate to become title contenders next season in all fronts? That's the question. And if you think, nah, we're not ready, well, tell me why we're not ready. And don't just give me the perspective from the club. Tell me, because if you're just giving me perspective from the club, I might as well just speak to a club representative. I might as well just talk to a club official. Give me your thoughts. Don't talk to me being a representative of the Chelsea hierarchy. Talk to me as a fan and respond why we can be title contenders next season in all fronts. Let me know your thoughts. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya. Bye.